Khenpo Sherab Sangpo Tumba Tukji Janla Gavyan Zar Shawma Jujan Jepodana Tism Sanji Kunjingo Wanye Ransam Churgang Sam Damza Zavelama Namlango Shantar. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. And first of all, Happy New Year. And I hope this new year brings all of us a lot of fortune things. And I hope this year will not be worse than last year. But, it actually depends upon us, right? If this year will be good and happy year or not is up to us, I think. So therefore, all of us should pledge every single day to develop our meditation practice and increase as many good and virtues things as much as we can. And more importantly, we should recognize that we are still alive, right? Means we should do something good and meaningful in this year. Very fortunate, and we should pray and visualize it being a better year with joy, happiness, good health, and prosperity. So New Year actually means the starting of a new time and beginning of kind of like new life. Because year is time, and time is about the measurement of life. So if we waste this precious time, then unfortunately we cannot use it again, and we never get it back because it's already gone. So therefore, it is very important to think about time, appreciate your life, think about time. It's actually thinking about your life and keeping a harmony relationship with each other and enjoying your life every single day. Every single day. If we do that, then this year will be a happy year, meaningful year. That is why I said it's up to us. And another thing is I want to recite the prayer of Samantabhadra today at the end of our meditation and teaching. Samantabhadra. Do you recognize him? Samantabhadra. Because we have the Samantabhadra prayer. We do? Okay, good. Good. So because in the prayer it says from now on, whenever a powerful yogin in the natural kind of clarity of undulated awareness make this powerful aspiration all beings who hear it will attain enlightenment in 3 lifetimes. At the time of eclipse of the sun or moon, and during an earthquake or earth rumbling, at the time of solstice or change of the year, which is today, at this time, visualize yourself as Samantabhadra and recite the prayer. All beings will gradually attain Buddhahood. Quote from this Samantabhadra's prayer. So the prayer explains that there are some certain times when it is particularly good to recite and to practice this prayer. Of course, whenever we have time is a good time. There's no bad time, right, to practice this prayer. But if we practice the prayer when there is, for example, like change of the year or eclipse, the sun or the moon, actually today, according to Tibetan calendar, today we have eclipse, sun. So both reason like change of the year and we have eclipse. So then during that kind of time, when we practice, when we recite the prayer, important time, because eclipse, for instance, like internally, the Buddhist point of view, these 3 bodies like the moon, sun, and earth represent 3 channels and 3 emotions. So according to Tantric teachings, you never heard this teaching, but the red element or sun, sun is kind of red, right, moves in the right channel, and the white elements or moon in the left channel, and then we call it like blue or darkness, blue elements of or the earth in the center channel. So when in an eclipse, the red and white elements enters and is held within the center channel. When this happens, because of that, the positive thoughts, sometimes they use like wisdom wind, but it seems like positive thoughts are more powerful than negative thoughts, and positive sort of winds or this wisdom manifest at this time. So during this kind of internal eclipse of our physical and mental element, the prayer and meditation will be especially beneficial according to Tantric teaching, because when you practice at this time, it will be easily to experience your practice connected with the nature state, which is the nature of mind, if you recognize. Therefore, this is a good time to practice. Kala Chakra, right? Kala Chakra is very famous Buddhist teaching, Tantric teaching. It has this the sun and more earth and all of this, and internally related to our channels, like and emotions. So there are a lot of teachings, but I'm not going to teach that in detail. But during this time, if we practice this prayer, then all beings, they said, will gradually attain Buddhahood. That's the prayer says. Attain Buddhahood, attain enlightenment. Generally speaking, attain Buddhahood is not easy because we have to purify all our negative emotions, attachment, anger, jealousy, ignorance, all of that. That's a lot of work. It's not easy to attain enlightenment, but never give it up, right? Another great famous teacher, Shantadewa, said that there is nothing that doesn't become possible through meditating upon it. Everything becomes easy through familiarization. If we don't give up, we can, because we have a potential. We are fortunate. We have this precious human life. So, but as Bapta Rinpoche said, it's too bad most people don't meditate. If they do, they could easily progress towards enlightenment. But most people don't practice. That's the problem. So we have to remember having the good fortune to be born a human being. It's very important to understand this, I think. We should continuously be aware of the preciousness of this situation and learn to take advantage of the wonderful opportunities that this birth presents. Our life is, another way of thinking of our life is very short, very, very short. But we are so fortunate to have been born as a human being. Usually, people, different people have different ideas, like religious belief, different things, way of living, etc. So many, but we have one common negative thought in our minds. Every human being's attachment, anger, especially this, what you call ego mind. So we hold ourselves in a way that is best described as ego clinging. So this is very common. This is very common. That's why we have a lot of problems in our life. So we attached to a self-image. This is our problem. It doesn't matter what kind of background, race, and culture we have, as long as we have a selfish mind, there is no liberation. As long as we have selfish mind, there is no liberation, there is no genuine happiness. Shantadewa said, all the harm with which this world is rife, all fear and suffering that there is, clinging to the I, has caused it. What am I to do with this great demon? Is this true? What should we do? Buddha said, practice bodhicitta and abandon the selfish mind. Abandon selfish mind. Great teacher Bapta Rinpoche said, there is only one thing that you need to become completely enlightened, and that is bodhicitta. That is bodhicitta. Do you know what is bodhicitta? A kind mind. A kind mind. Bodhicitta, heart of enlightenment. If you lack that one thing, you will not become enlightened, no matter how much you practice, because your efforts are based on selfishness. Based on selfishness. That's why, do you remember, I always remind you to correct your motivation in whatever you do. Whatever you do. So Buddha said that every single attitude of body, speech, and mind should be analyzed and must not be mixed with your ego mind. and must not be mixed with any other negative emotions. So we need sort of some instructions on how to deal with our negative emotions and how to control them. So when I say, emotions, some emotions need to be abandoned and some need to be cultivated at a certain time for developing our human qualities. Desire, let's take desire as an example. Usually we think that it is a negative emotion that should be abandoned, but sometimes it's helpful on the path, like the desire to attain enlightenment, or the desire to generate bodhicitta, desire to generate a kind mind. This desire is a method of accomplishing vast benefit for others. So the motivation is not mixed with your ego. And conversely, the desire that should be abandoned is desire to an object, desire to whatever person, place, worldly life, etc. Attachment. That kind of desire is a form of attachment, right? Form of attachment. So we have to abandon. So the desire that causes us to develop bodhicitta, to develop human quality, develop compassion, love and kindness, and the desire that causes us to increase attachment are totally different. One is mixed with your ego mind, one is not. So therefore, we need to sort of understand the difference between these two. That's just to give you an example, one example. Therefore, we need different instructions on how to deal with these emotions and how to control them. So the spiritual path of the Dharma is a method to abandon all our harmful thoughts, harmful speech, and harmful actions, physical actions. So the point is we are seeking the truth, to find what is truth, to find the solution for the ego mind and to develop human capacity. That's the point. Practice meditation. Ego mind is so bad. So my teacher always say that we need some good practitioners. And it is not about, they always say, my teachers always say that it's not about how many, like for instance, the monastery in Tibet, how many monks and how many nuns the monastery have. The quality is more important than the quantity, We, in Tibet, there's large monastery everywhere, right? Some monastery has 3,000 monks or 5,000 nuns, like that. People love to have like a lot of people, right? A lot of monks and nuns. My teacher said, no, not necessarily that good, The quality is more important, okay? The number is not important. So what is quality? If you have like 3,000 monks and nuns who are full of ego mind, what's the use, right? Nothing. So therefore, We need good practitioners for sure, but that depends on yourself. If you don't practice, you cannot develop human capacity. Human capacity actually limitless. If you practice, limitless. Therefore, we always say like this is precious life, right? Precious human life, because our capacity is limitless if you develop. So the teachings are for avoiding negative actions, which is like diminishing all the activities of body, speech, and mind that will harm ourselves and harm others. So you have to check yourself. If you have an ego mind, that's not good. Harm yourself, harm others. If you have a kind mind, then you're fine. So doing whatever positive actions we can, either directly or indirectly. So that is, we call it self-discipline. Self-discipline is very important. It is the cause of the peace and harmony. It helps us to care for others. So self-discipline, in order to meditate, in order to practice self-discipline, self-discipline requires the practice of mindfulness, practice of wisdom during every activity. So we must have good discipline to be mindful. So practitioners really need self-discipline. And doing positive actions and benefit, others, and abandon sort of, harming others. So all of that, this together we call discipline. The question is, can meditation solve these emotional problems? That depends on us, whether we practice this method, these instructions, or not. Therefore, spiritual practice is necessary in our lives. Do you remember Buddha said that freedom is happiness? Freedom is happiness. Being controlled by others is suffering. So freedom is happiness, right? So what is freedom? What is this freedom? This freedom is the genuine happiness of the mind. And that kind of happiness can only come from training the mind and its attitude. So the point is your mental attitude, the attitude of renunciation, which is the practice contentment, the attitude of bodhicitta, which is the practice of kind mind, and the attitude of wisdom, which is the realization of the nature of all dharma, all phenomena. So the combination of these 3 points put together will make our practice very profound and very beneficial to all beings. To understand, practice contentment, practice a kind mind, practice of wisdom. These 3, if you have these 3 qualities, then your practice is very meaningful, profound, beneficial to everyone. So Buddha said that freedom, that's why freedom is, happiness. Buddha also said being controlled by others is suffering. Here, other is suffering. Being controlled by other is suffering. What is other? Here, other means negative emotions. not other people or other thing. The other means our negative emotions. So being controlled by negative emotion is suffering. You understand that. So people don't want suffering, people want happiness. The freedom is happiness. If you control your negative emotions, you're a free person. You are enlightened person. Controlled by others, negative emotions, you are ordinary person. That's what we could say. Ordinary person. And you're going to suffer from negative emotions. Actually, ego mind. That's the being controlled by other is suffering means controlled ego mind. Ego mind, you always follow your ego mind. Do this, do that, harmful, blah, blah, blah. You think you are the most important person. No, you are not. So ego mind tells us that, right? And then we follow. Yes, I'm the best person in this world, and I'm the, I need this. I don't care others. So that's ego. So then control this, ego mind. Control. Then we're suffering. We're suffering because through that we do harmful things, and the result of that, and we're going to suffer. So anyway, I would like to say a few words about meditation. Meditation is always very important, right? And give you some suggestions to help you establish a daily meditation routine. So meditation is like our food when we are hungry. So we have to eat at least 3 times every day, right? I think so. So you need to meditate. So how? What is the suggestion? My suggestion to establish your meditation is you need to choose, time of the day that works for you, and then try to meditate at that time every day. That's, I think, very important from my experience. So you choose a time, and then you have to meditate on that specific time. Never waste that time, because you have to develop that habit. Oh, this is my meditation. I have to meditate, right? You can practice anytime, morning, evening, night, whatever the best, and time of the day, whatever works for you. And then try to meditate at that time. Okay, today I can't meditate on this time, but tomorrow. That's not a good idea. And then, before you enter into meditation, it is important to check your motivation. That's the key point. Like, you ask yourself, why am I doing this meditation? What is really sort of behind this spiritual practice? Shantideva said, great Indian master, whatever joy there is in this world, all comes from wanting others to be happy. Whatever suffering there is in this world, all comes from wanting only myself to be happy. So that's why you have to correct your motivation, to create this motivation of benefiting self and others is important. And then you have that, right? You have that. And then during meditation, remember these things, these suggestions may help your meditation. So you should relax, right? You have to fix your motivation. Don't follow the ego mind. So you should relax, and then all tension and thoughts. Open up and feel the sort of nature of the body and let go of any tightness, tension, holding back. Don't focus too tightly, and don't focus too loosely, too tightly, too loosely. Not good for your meditation. And try to just stay with relaxation. Don't hurry. Remain very relaxed. If you are a beginner, you should practice for a short time, very short time, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, short time, and then frequently. And when you practice, don't worry about your thoughts. Don't pay too much attention to them. And no matter how long you meditate, try to meditate with mindfulness. Of course, it naturally happens that when we meditate, our thoughts arise. But, when you see that happening rather than following, then immediately bring mind back through your sort of mindfulness. And the good thing is, the wonderful, beautiful thing is, if you sit and look at your mind for just a minute, you can see it is beautiful. Because the true nature is always there. You're never separate from it. But the temporary, we call it ignorance, right? Temporary ignorance blocks your vision in many ways. So, therefore, this ignorance needs to be removed in order to see the true nature. Once the ignorance is moved through realization, through your meditation, then you are no longer an ordinary person. Then you will understand that everything is equal and everything is sort of manifestation of the true nature of your mind, wisdom mind. There is no ego mind. When the mind is calm and clear, rest in the present. Find it right in the moment of meditation. Be comfortable with that moment. So it is important to recognize that. So practice meditation is important. Without meditating, there is a lot of confusion with so many thoughts. So, focusing and letting yourself feel the nature of your own mind is very important. But before you try to focus, open the mind, trust yourself, and sort of remember that you have potential. It's the Buddha nature, the nature of mind. That's the thing. Trust yourself and try to relax and be fully sort of present. And when you feel like, the energy of meditation, at some point, your energy and relaxation should no longer remain separate. They should be sort of unit, in a single experience. Everything become like, once you experience that, everything become very smooth and gentle and opened and clear, and everything, like it's changed all your visions, changed your, like, all this feeling, body, speech, and mind. Everything will change because of the meditation. So then you can relax your mind. Right now we cannot relax our mind because so many thoughts in our head. So we can't relax. We follow a thought, right? We follow these thoughts one after another, one after another. Never relaxed our mind. My teacher said, if you relaxed completely one time, liberated there. But we never relaxed. We never relax. We can't relax. And we don't know how to relax. That's the thing. That's why we call ordinary people or enlightened, enlightened beings. And ordinary people are totally different. They know how to relax their mind. Although we have same potential, same capacity, but we just don't know how to relax. We can't relax our mind. But so anyway, the point is we need to have a kind heart, a kind mind. I love that. If you don't practice, you can't have it. You can't have a kind mind. I don't really care whether we, become sort of like this, what do you call it, enlightened being or not. You attain enlightenment or not. I don't care that. But the selfish, the ego mind is so bad. It's really bad. I don't care you agree with me or not. I don't care that. I know the ego mind is the problem. You are Buddhist or not, I don't care. You believe me or not, I don't care. I know the selfishness. The ego mind is the cause of everything, the problem. So that's why Buddha said, it doesn't matter who you are or what kind of a religion you have. You have to first diminish your ego mind, then it doesn't matter. So how to control this? Through your meditation. So therefore, meditation is very important, okay? Meditation is very important. Through meditation, you can control this negative emotions, meditation. So that's why Buddha said, enlightenment or not, it depends on yourself. So, okay, we are going to meditate for a few minutes. Today, this is called the breath practice in 3 stages. Many of you have done this so many times. Very familiar. So it is breath practice in 3 stages, which is the breathe in, breathe out, and pause between these two. So when you breathe in very gently, then pause your breath. Relax on that. When you relax on that, maybe you will recognize your nature mind. Maybe you have some awareness there. Maybe not. Don't worry. Just to relax, pause. And then pause means, let your mind and your breath. So you are breathe in, breathe out. Between that, you relax. Means your mind. You have a mind, right? Your your mind and breath let sort of dissolve into this empty space. Pause there, okay? Maybe you become a kind of numb, Doesn't matter, that's fine. And you should look deeply into it, not outside, but inside, right? Into it. And then experience. There is inner, what do you call it? Relaxation, peacefulness, And then relax in that space. And then your thoughts come, and then breathe out. If you relax on that thought, that space, you don't have to focus on your breath. Just meditate on that. But if you cannot relax on that specific space, then breath, focus on breath help, not follow your thoughts, right? I know some people don't like to practice on breath. It's difficult. Some people love practice breath because, breath is already with you. So you focus on that. You really focus on your breath. There's no other thoughts, right? So it helps give you sort of, experience the relaxation, So when your mind and your emotions are calm, you see your true nature. That's why, for instance, like water is very calm and clean. You will be able to see through it, whatever in it, right? If water is muddy, dirty, you can't see what is inside there. Our mind right now, is like dirty water. You can't see what it is there. But once your mind and your emotions, whatever is calm and clean and relaxed, then you can see the true nature of your mind. That's why meditation is so important. But in order to do this, you need instructions, you need method, because our mind is like a wild, like elephant. We cannot control right away. We need so many methods in order to control these negative thoughts and emotions. So therefore, meditation is very important. So then once your mind relaxed, and then you sort of look deeply, enter more, and then you really focus on that, no? Because it happens only in the present moment. If you're not in present moment, your follow thoughts, whatever, you have no chance to see this beautiful nature of your mind. Never. You have no chance. No chance. Because these thoughts, negative thoughts, blocks, so you have no chance. You have like very dirty water, so you can't see it. So when you pause your breath and just relax, okay, and feel sort of this peacefulness and recognize, if you can, recognize true nature, experience of this calmness between two breaths. So when you are when you breathe in, just I said no rush. Okay, just breathe in, pause and breathe. When you're ready to breathe out, then you do it slowly. Is that simple? Understand? Clear? Yeah? Let's do it. And then 10 minutes, okay? Can you do that? 10 minutes? 10 minutes. Then after we are going to recite the prayer of Samantabhadra. We do that for today, okay? For 10 minutes. Investigate your motivation and develop your kind mind, correct your motivation, and then you start breathe in and out in pause. That's today's meditation instruction.